There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Responding to the need to bring quality education to rural areas, St. Jude College established its first satellite campus at Salatran 4 Dasmarinas, Cavite on October 23, 1999. But on June 14, 1999, SJCDC started its first orientation outside its old building. And then in 2001, they inaugurated its new building, which includes the following new facilities: nursing laboratory, covered court, computer laboratory, food and beverage services room, X-ray laboratory, housekeeping laboratory, auditorium, and rooms that can hold students who will enroll at SJCDC. As SJCDC continues to provide excellence and with the highest standard services, SJCDC complied with the required standards of the quality management system needed to be certified to ISO 9001:2015. SJCDC is also working to be a PACU COA candidate, which will help them achieve and maintain the highest level of service in the institution. SJCDC receives a variety of awards and appreciation from the city government of Dasmarinas for providing support for different projects and activities of the city. SJCDC is also recognized as one of the most outstanding universities to enroll in Dasmarinas, Cavite. As a result of the high-quality service standards, SJCDC continues to produce a 100% passing rate for BS Nursing, Radiologic Technology, Education, and TESTA. Top 1 during the 2015 Radiologic Technology examination and top 7 during the 2022 Nursing Licensure examinations. SJCDC also excels in extracurricular activities for students like swimming And basketball, as SJCDC is now a 10-peat champion in CDAP's Athletic League and champion in City Meet 2022 at Dasmarinas, Cavite. SJCDC also holds events, programs, and ceremonies for students. SJCDC also received various positive feedback from its community and stakeholders. To extend the service of SJCDC to its community, it partnered and affiliated with different public and private industries. St. Jude College, Dasmarinas, Cavite Incorporated. Foundation to Leadership.
Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to today's career development session. Today's Marketing Me webinar is live today at two schools. So we have Dr. Filemon C. Aguilar Memorial College of Las Pinas and St. Jude College, Dasmarinas. So before we start, we'd like to introduce our speakers from ADP, VXI, and Synchrony. So to everyone, please feel free to join us for the prayer and the national anthem.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above the heavenly host. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Ang ligaya na
Thank you for that, Tech. Now to deliver the opening remarks, we'd like to call Engineer Karine May A. Teves, Director for the Office of Student Affairs and Services, St. Jude College, Dasmarinas, Cavite.
Good morning to the young students. It is a great pleasure to speak before you today as we welcome you on this two-day event which has been prepared by our Guidance Counseling Center in partnership with Jobs 180. As you prepare for your careers, there are lots of things that you may use to increase the chance of getting hired for the positions that you are aiming for. This event would help you be equipped of the skills you will be needing, armed with the confidence that you will be acquiring, and mostly captured the heart and soul of being a truly prepared applicant. On behalf of the Office of the Student Affairs and Services, we would like to thank you all for exerting your time and effort to attend this webinar, which is prepared for each of you. In advance, we would like to congratulate all of you for as you embark to the next level of your journey, where you could exercise what you have learned from our school. May everyone gain knowledge and learnings from this event. So enjoy!
Thank you for that, Engineer Teves. So to everyone, we welcome you to the event. I'm Shari from Academic Languages and I'll be hosting the activity today. So please be advised that attendance and evaluation will be released at the end of this webinar. So please tag your friends so that they don't miss out on this activity. So the recordings of this webinar will be posted in the Jobs 180 Facebook and YouTube channel. So we'd also like to acknowledge the organizers from the school, Miss Angel of SJCDC and Sir Red of DFCAM for helping us organize this activity. So to everyone, here is our schedule for this morning. So we will be talking about job applications using the resume link, building an innovative mindset, or how to deliver results through unconventional ways, the new era of work, adapting to the new environment, leadership and innovation in the new future, or how to navigate your way to a better career. So to everyone who's currently watching, please comment your name and course in the comment section para at least we know who our audience is for today. Ayan. So to everybody, we'd like to introduce our first speaker. So our first speaker for this morning is Sir Kim Chua, and he is the Managing Director of Jobs180.com. He has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. He is a trusted resource speaker, and he has done over 1,000 career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. So we encourage everyone to put in their questions here because after Sir Kim's talk, there will be a question and answer. So to everyone, please don't be shy and maximize the time with the speakers later. So Sir Kim, we give you the floor. Please take it away.
Hey everyone, good day to all of you. My name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa, baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo. And I'm here to share to you about the most secure tool for job application. This is how you can market yourself more effectively and the different ways to do that. Okay, so let me start. Now, when you apply, you probably have a checklist if you're using the right tool. So just go along with me if you have the right, if you have the same checklist that I have. So ito yung mga things na like kong tinatandaan, no? Will my tool or will the thing that I'll be using help me to stand out? That's the first item that is very important for me. Kailangan mag-stand out ako kasi dami-dami kong kasabayan kalaban sa pag-apply. Another thing in my checklist is that do I have more than one file? Because oftentimes I have a lot of files. May academic records, may mga government IDs, ang dami mga kailangan hingiin ng mga companies. So I'd like to put them all in one file. And this tool helps me to do that. Okay? Another thing that this tool can do is that it allows me to make the process more efficient. Mas napapabilis yung pag-apply. No? Hindi na napapatagal yung pabalik-balik. So, mas mabilis din syempre tayo maka-move forward. Diba? And another thing that this tool can do is that wala tong bayad. Baka mukha lang akong salesman pero libre po ito. Okay? So this tool is absolutely for free. The most important in my checklist is that this tool, okay, makes my information secured. And I think this is the most important question. Do you want your information to be secured? I hope your answer is yes. Okay? And so with that, let me show you ano tong tool na ito. This tool is called ResumeLink. ResumeLink by definition is the most secured tool for job application. Okay? This is a personalized URL. It is a link that anyone can open online anytime, provided that they know the link. So let me use an example. If you are John Santos, just in case lang, your name is John Santos, your resume link would look something like johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. So how do you make one? Okay, how do you make one? Now, the first step is for you to register. This is absolutely for free. Wala itong bayad. Okay? So what do? You go to www.jobs180.com and that is where you now register. Okay? As you register, you just simply fill out the information. These are the basic information. You have the account details, you have your personal information, you have your education background, and just in case you have your work experience, whether it's OJT or it's part-time job or whatever yung work experience na yan, then you proceed to that work experience page. Pero pag wala, hanggang dyan na lang tayo sa may education information. Okay? After doing so, you now start to create your resume link. So ano ba ang basihan ng resume link? Kadalasan, ang resume link natin, we base it on our name. We base it on our unique name. Okay, so as an example, if you are John Santos, then you say johnsantos.jobs180.com. Now, what about during scenarios where you create your resume link tapos may nauna sa inyo? May ibang John Santos, may kapangalan ka, no, nauna sa inyo. Ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon na red na box. Sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Now, okay, malungkot pag taken na. Okay lang, maging creative lang kayo ng konti. Pwede mo balik na rin. Pwede mo sabihin Santos John. Okay, you can also say Santos J, o kaya J Santos, o kaya JS, di ba? Or SJ. Depende sa link na gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapareho kahit kayo may kapangalan. Now, another thing I'd like to emphasize here, wag po kayong OA. Pag gumawa kayo ng resume link, huwag mo gagawin tipong nakalagay, cutie pie, lover boy, Barbie doll, di ba? Because it doesn't sound professional. Imagine going to a company and the HR will ask you, do you have a resume? Tapos sasabihin mo sa kanya, meron po, ang resume ko ay eljablo.jobs180.com. Di ba? Baka matakot yung HR sa inyo. So I don't recommend that you do something like that. Just stick to your name. Whatever your name is, it will sound professional. Okay? Now, in creating a resume link, you have to use a valid email. Emails like Yahoo, Gmail, Rocketmail, any email, basta nabubuksan nyo, wag na wag ka lang gagamit ng facebook.com na email. Okay, do not use something like, example lang patrick@facebook.com na email. Do not use patricia@facebook.com na email. Okay, in short, do not use @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com, you will no longer be able to receive notifications being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Okay, so use something that you can open. Why is it important for you to open your email? Because you have to verify your account. Okay, remember, pag nag-verify, yan ang ebidensya na ikaw nag-register talaga. Yan ang proof. Diba? And at the same time, if you verify your account, then you'll be receiving notifications from the companies as well as Jobs180. If you do not verify your account, hindi nyo na po marireceive yung mga notification ng mga companies. So, sayang naman, di ba? Might as well verify your account first. Okay? Now, you're done with the first step after you verify. So, ano na ang second step? Ang second step is the most logical of all the steps. You have to complete all the information. Very logical. Sino sa inyo mag-apply sa mga kumpanya, bungi-bungi detalye? Sino sa inyo magbibigay ng resume sa mga HR tapos kulang-kulang details nyo? I don't think you'll do that because you're just wasting your time. Instead, kumpletuhin yung information nyo bago kayo mag-submit dun sa mga companies. Okay? So, step 2, complete the information. And how do you do that? Punta kayo ulit dun sa website, www.jobs180.com, and this time, you don't need to register again kasi may account ka na eh. What you need to do is you have to log in. Okay? Now, as you log in, you start to put your You put your registered email or your resume link and then your password. Na ikaw lang may alam. Okay? Ganun lang siya kasimple. Now, once you're inside your account, you start to fill in the blanks. Ganun lang kasimple. Fill in the blanks. So, the things that you see here, yung mga contents, napakasimple lang. Yung mga personal details nyo, lagay mo dyan. Diba? All the information na sa tingin nyo relevant, you put it there. Now, I have some emphasis lang on items na madalas na miss out ito ng mga aplikante. Ano yung mga yon? Sa contact information, you have to put here all the possible ways na pwede kang makontak ng isang HR. Kagaya ng social media handles nyo. Ba't ko nasabi yan? Because in reality is, pag tinatawagan kayo ng mga HR, madalas hindi naman ina-answer eh. Lalo na pag hindi nyo kilala, pag nag-ring yung phone nyo, hala, sino kaya ito? Di ba, hindi mo kilala. Ano gagawin? Hahayaan mo na lang. Di ba? Antayin mo kung may mag-message sa inyo. Eh, paano kung yung HR hindi naman hindi masipag mag-message? Masipag lang siya magtawag. That's why I recommend you put here all the possible means na pwede kang makontak. Kagaya ng social media nyo. Put your Facebook there, yung mga messenger nyo, mga Twitter nyo, iba pang mga paraan, social media handles para mabilis kayo ma-reach out. Diba? Message na lang. Are you available Thursday, 10 a.m., so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying? Diba? So lahat ng paraan, lagay mo dyan. What else do you put here? You also put here yung inyong mga work options. Sa work options naman, you just choose lang, parang yes or no lang yan, parang switch, no? Kung ano yung mga options na gusto ninyo. No, willing to work night shift, willing to relocate, looking for OJT, you can also put it here. Okay? And then in terms of education, obvious naman, yung alma mater nyo, lagay nyo dito. Diba? Yung mga pampakapal ng resume, sa seminars attended, kahit magkopyahan pa kayo ng mga classmates mo, okay lang. Basta lang make sure, alam nyo na pag-usapan doon sa seminar na yon. Pagdating sa certification, ganun din yan. Walang limit sa space yan. Achievements, recommend ko dito is you don't only put yung mga achievement nyo inside the school. Okay? Kasi hindi naman lahat tayo academically inclined. Some of us are not very active sa school, pero active tayo sa mga social-civic organization. Diba? So, even if it's outside of the school, you can also put it there. As long as you think it is an achievement, you put it there. Okay? Now, in terms of skills and languages, isa-isahin ko lang yan ha. Sa skills, do not limit your skills dyan lang sa course nyo. Hindi porkat education ng course mo, ang ibig sabihin, ang skills na alam mo lang ay magturo. Hindi porkat accounting ang course mo, ang alam mo lang gawin or ang skills mo ay mag-debit, credit at mag-balance sheet. Diba? So, marami kang alam na iba pa mga skills na kahit walang connect sa course, you can also put it here. Sample, photography, diba? Videography, diba? And all the other things, calligraphy, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? When it comes to languages, I'm sure alam nyo, 2 lengguwahe na at the minimum. You know English and you know Filipino. If you know local dialect, to be specific, lagi mo Tagalog, Sabacano, Bisaya, Kapampangan, 'di ba? Ilonggo, wala naman limit sa space eh. 'Di ba? If you know foreign languages, put it there. Chinese, Japanese, French, Vietnamese, kung ano man 'yan, ilagay nyo. Because what you're doing is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to the prospective company. Now, when it comes to references, sigurado naman ako yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang tanong lang dyan, kayo ba kilala nila? Kasi madalas pag tinatawagan namin yung mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. Yung pinakamalupit dyan, hindi talaga kayo kilala. Okay, so please advise yung mga references nyo na ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now, at this point, I'd like to highlight yung mga things that you don't find in a traditional resume. Ano yung mga yan? Diba? Ito yung mga yun. Let me start with the portfolio section. The portfolio section is where you now upload evidence of your skills. And I think with this day and age, dito pumapasok yung efficiency ng ating application sa mga companies. Because oftentimes, when we apply to companies, marami mga hinihingi, mga pre-employment requirements. They will ask for mga documents, mga proof that is showing na yan talaga yung mga skills nyo. So, kung ano man meron yung mga documents, you can now take a picture, you can scan them, and you can upload it here. Example, government IDs. Diba? Meron ka mga transcripts, academic records. Diba? You can put that there. Okay? Kung meron mga medical clearance na kailangan, ganun din. Hindi na kailangan magpabalik-balik sa company. Oh, ayos ba? Oh, eto pa. Diba? But wait, there's more. Ito na yun. Etong isa pang gusto ko i-recommend sa inyo, yung tinatawag natin selfie video. Nowadays, I think, it is not very difficult to create a selfie video. Diba? Ito may TikTok nga kayo eh. Diba? Alam mo naman paano gumawa ng selfie video. So I don't need to teach you how to create a selfie video. What I need to share to you na lang is yung anong kailangan sabihin pagka gumawa ka ng selfie video. Okay, this time, what I recommend is you say something interesting about yourself. Okay? So, you pretend that you're being interviewed by the HR. Diba? Ano yung mga tinatanong sa atin? Why should we hire you? Diba? Tell me something about yourself. Why should we consider you among all the other applicants? O, diba? Ang kagandahan ngayon is you create that video for about 1 minute or less. Hindi kailangan sobrang haba. No? Mga 1 minute lang or less. Pero ang maganda rito is na-evaluate na nung HR yung inyong communication skills. If you can speak in English, then I recommend you speak in straight English. But if you cannot, it's okay as long as you're able to show your personality. You can also showcase here yung mga hard skills nyo. Ano yung mga hard skills? Kagaya ng mga video na panood ko dati, pinakita nila how to use a soldering iron, how to properly handle a welding machine, diba? How to fold table napkins. O, ganun, diba? So, depende kung ano yung mga skills na alam mo at depende kung ano yung nasa field mo rin, diba? Na napag-aralan, diba? So, gusto mo magpakita ka paano mag-balance sheet, pwede rin. O, diba? Again, it really depends on what you wanted to show dun sa HR. Ang point is, you don't need to travel back and forth para lang ipakita on the spot dun sa HR yung inyong hard skills. And, most importantly, hindi na kailangan magkaroon ng maraming aberya, maraming storbo. Diba? Sometimes, when we try to contact you for the phone interview, maingay yung background, hindi marinig, 'di ba? Mahina signal, maingay, ano nangyari? Nasa biyahe, 'di ba? Or sometimes hindi magtugma yung schedule. At least with that selfie video, it makes the process now more efficient. Now, another good thing pa with the ResumeLink is that you also upload here your profile picture. When it comes to profile picture, you don't need to go to the studio para magpa-picture. Huwag ka na gumastos. Ang importante lang dyan, tumingin ka sa camera, okay, with plain background, at of course, magbihis ka naman ng maayos, 'di ba? And then you're good to go. Huwag mo gagawin yung mga nasa right side ng screen niyo. Those samples that I'm showing you, it doesn't look professional. Imagine, di ba, yung mga selfie, mga nilagay ng avatar, yan, hindi yan, huwag nyo gawin yan. Okay? Huwag nyo gawin yan. It doesn't look nice, doesn't look professional. Okay? Now, another good thing pa with the ResumeLink is that meron tayong tinatawag na cover photo. Ayan, pasintabi sa matatamaan. May iba sa inyo nakikinig ngayon, hindi naman kayo gifted with writing skills. Some of us are having a difficult time expressing our thoughts and feelings into words. So ano pwede mo gawin? You can now use those pictures to represent your personality or to showcase yung inyong skills. Example, look at the one on the left, yung nasa baba. Ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, ophthalmologist, optometrist, or eye expert. Yung nasa kanan, yung nasa taas, ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, para siyang admin or clerical work. Or maybe makalat kasi tingnan mo yung lamesa ang kalat-kalat. O, di ba? Again, it depends on the interpretation of the person looking at it. This is an example of someone into HR or maybe into psychology. And this one is an example, it's a very good example by the way, of someone who wanted to say that there is no shortcut to success. Hindi po yan miyembro na Akit Bahay Gang. Okay? Ang gusto niya sabihin, you will be able to reach yung goal mo by taking one step at a time. Oh, di ba? You get what I'm saying now. So I'm showing you good examples para you can draw inspiration from. And I will also show you not so good examples. Ito yung wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayong magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Maglagay ka ng picture mo dyan. Lalaki man, babae in between, okay lang. Ilagay mo dyan. Member man tayo ng LGBTQ+, okay lang. You put it there. At least alam ng HR who to expect. A lot of times, yung mga pangalan kasi very interchangeable nowadays. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think, babae ako. Di ba? Eh, pag iba nababasa kong mga resume, ano nakalagay sa resume nila? Chris. Nakalagay George, Alex, Sam, Nick. O, di ba? Joey. I would assume lalaki. Yun pala, babae. O, di ba? So that's why you better make sure you put your picture there. And wag naman pugot yung ulo nyo pag nilagay ng picture. Dapat kompleto. Okay? Never leave this blank because if you leave this blank, it will not catch the HR's attention. Trust me. Kung ikaw ang HR, wala ka namang ibang makita dyan, malamang mangyayari dito, next applicant na. Okay? And then if you want to catch the HR's attention, do not create something like this. This is just my opinion. I don't think this looks professional kasi ang dating parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, no? Parang chill-chill, walang pakialam sa buhay. Again, that is just my interpretation. Okay? So I showed you the good and not so good examples para you'll be guided. Now, you can just play along later on kung anong sa tingin nyo mas bagay sa inyong background or sa inyong sa gusto niyo ipakita sa personality niyo. Okay? Now, let's examine a very good example. Look at this person, itong eye expert. Bakit maganda itong example ng kanyang resume link? Because all the information you're seeing here, kompleto na. 'Di ba? Hindi ka na magpabalik-balik eh. Kung ikaw yung HR, everything that you need to ask or you want to know about the applicant, you already find it here. If you're the applicant, you might as well put everything there para wag mo na antayin pa yung time na hihingin pa sa ng HR yung mga documents yan. Baka hindi na mangyari yun. Baka may ibang aplikante na mas assertive, nilagay lahat ng mga information na i-process na siya kaagad. Diba? Now, at this point, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, sir, okay nga tong resume link. Kaso lang, baka naman yung information ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman nakalantad na sa buong internet. Ang sagot ay, hindi. Kaya nga tinawag na the most secure tool for your job application. Diba? Bakit? Because you control your privacy settings. Ikaw mismo, as an account user or as a ResumeLink owner, ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo. And how will that happen? When you log into your dashboard, as you can see in my screen, when you log into your dashboard, you will find the ResumeLink settings. Pagpunta mo sa settings mo, puntahan mo yung privacy settings at dun ka mamili ngayon ng information you want to show or hide in public. So let me use an example. If you don't want to show your birthday, what do? You turn it off. You don't want to show your references, you turn it off. You don't want to show your address, what do? Turn it off. Diba? So yung mga information na in-off mo, hindi lalabas sa public. Now, if ever lang you decide to change your mind, ang maganda dito sa ResumeLink, updated yan, real time. As in real time. So 5 minutes later, you want to show your birthday, turn it on. What happens? Lahat ng mayroong alam ng ResumeLink mo, alam na niya yung birthday mo. Diba? If 2 days later, you want to show your address, you turn it on, you save your profile, lahat ng may alam ng ResumeLink mo, alam na rin yung inyong address. You get what I'm saying? Diba? So, depende na sa inyo kung ano gusto mo i-on or i-off. If you want to turn off everything, then okay lang. You can just turn off the button. Enable public ResumeLink, off. Wala nang lalabas sa public. Kahit na anong information. Okay? So, yan ang re-remind ko sa inyo. This, the second step is for you to complete the information. And in doing so, please make sure that your profile is interesting, diba? Yung information mo kompleto at updated ang details nyo para mabilis kayo makontak ng mga HR. Now, we go to the last step. Pangatlo na, last step na to. The last step is for you to submit. Now, how will you submit your ResumeLink to those companies? You might be thinking you want to explore opportunities outside of the Philippines. Maybe you want to join some job fairs later on. You want to apply online. You want to, marami, walk-ins, diba? Depende kung ano kasi bumabalik na yung face-to-face ngayon. So, lahat ng mga ipapakita ko sa inyo, lahat ito, practical application. Lahat yan, makaka-relate kayo. Ano yung first one? The first one is you go online. Of course. Diba? Yan ang fastest way. You just connect via your phone, via kung ano man gadget mo, go to jobs.at.com, search for companies. And by the way, speaking of search, you can only search for company, tatlo lang pwede mo i-search ha. Search for company name, position title, and location. Doon sa search bar, hindi mo pwede ma-search ang ResumeLink. So example lang, ikaw si John Santos, okay? Okay, ikaw si, ako na lang, Kim, halimbawa lang, subukan mo pumunta sa jobs.at.com, doon sa search bar, type mo doon Kim. Tingnan mo kung may lumabas. Malamang sa malamang, walang lalabas. Unless may company name, position title, or location na may word na Kim. Other than that, walang lalabas dyan. Kasi hindi siya searchable. So, the only time a company would be able to know your information is if and when you give your exact ResumeLink to that company. So, ikaw may control. Ayos? So, tuloy natin. Okay, tuloy natin. So, if you're going to search for companies, what do? Just go to the website of jobs.at.com, search for companies. Kung may lumabas, edi meron. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Diba? Ganun lang yan. Huwag natin pilitin magkaroon ng something kung wala talaga. Diba? Okay, so ano gagawin? Tingnan mo yung mga companies. Kung meron kang type, edi gawin nyo, check nyo yung opportunities. After that, you now submit your information to that company. Okay, when you submit your information to the company, it will ask for your profile, for your ResumeLink and password. So ikaw lang magbibigay ng consent dun sa company. Okay? Now another option is for you to send resumes via email. Now there's nothing wrong in sending resumes through email. Ang tanong dito is, how are you sending your resumes through email? Do you do it like this? Do you say, "Dear HR manager, I'd like to apply for the following position. This is my resume." Tapos mag-attach ka ng Word file, PDF file, or whatever file you have. If you're doing those attachments pa, ang tawag dyan, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Hindi ko sinabing mali. Ang sabi ko lang, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Bakit? Hindi mo kailangan mag-attach anything anymore. If you're going to write an email and send your resume, just simply type your resume link there. "Dear HR manager, I would like to apply for the following position. This is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, jobs.at.com, send. Tapos na. Ganun lang kabilis. Diba? Whatever changes you need to do, you put it inside your resume link. You don't have to keep on sending another attachment. Paano kung imagine mo na lang, nag-attach ka ng Word file. Diba? Ng PDF file. Tapos nagpalit ka ng address, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Email mo na naman yung HR. "Dear HR manager, I'm sending you my updated resume." Ganun ba? Paano kung 2 months later, lumipat ka ng bahay, iba na address mo, send ka ulit ng bagong resume? "Dear HR manager, I'm sending you my updated, most recent resume." I don't think you'll do that. Kasi kung ganun ang ginagawa mo, sayang sa oras siya, nakapagod sa part mo, lalong-lalo naman sa part ng HR, mas nakakapagod to keep track kung saan dyan yung pinaka-updated na attachment or pinaka-updated na resume ng aplikante. And this time around, if you have your resume link, all you need to do is just update your resume link at lahat na may alam ng resume link mo, makikita nila yung pinaka real-time update ng profile or information. Ayos ba? Ayos ba? Sige, another one. For those who wanted to use a hard copy, Gusto mo talaga may hard copy ka when you apply to those companies, you want to give something, then this is also possible. What do? You go to your dashboard inside your job seeker account, then you can print your resume link. Mamili ka lang, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, the system will try to compress everything into 1 page. O di ba? Maginhawa sa buhay. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-apply sa mga kumpanya, hindi mo na kailangan mag-prepare ng maraming mga pages. Minsan, di ba, yung mga aplikante, mga 2-3 pages ang isang set ng resume. Palibasa, yung font size 45. Kaya umaabot ng 2-3 pages. O di ba? Pero this time, the system will try to compress everything na into 1 page. Just in case you really want to have a hard copy. O di ba? Tipid. Okay? Another thing pa for me to encourage you to do is you use ResumeLink cards. ResumeLink cards. Ano tong ResumeLink card? Kung sa mga nagtatrabaho na, tawag namin business card. Sa mga nag-a-apply, tawag dyan, ResumeLink card. So in one piece of paper, whether short bond or long bond paper, you can now design it your own way. You can design it depende kung ano ang gusto mo, pagiging creativity mo. Ikaw bahala. You can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa laki or liit. Diba? Kasi laki ng index card or kasi liit lang ng mga normal business cards natin. Diba? So depende. So maybe in one long bond paper, you can make 10, 20 sets of cards na. And so after you have it printed out, pwede ka na ngayon maggupit-gupit. Gupit-gupit na lang. Diba? 10 or 20, bawat kumpanya, you can now start to give that as a hard copy. Hard copy pa rin naman yan eh. But this time, why am I encouraging you to use ResumeLink cards instead of the traditional long bond or short bond paper? Bakit? Una-una, tipid. Diba? Because of course, right now, eto, tipid. Kasi if you're going to apply to 20 companies, you don't need to print 20 sets of long bond papers. You just need to print one long bond paper and cut 20 small pieces of ResumeLink cards. O, diba? That's for the cost side. Tipid na. Pangalawa, at mas importante, security of information. Diba? You want to have peace of mind. Paano ko nasabi yan? Kapag ikaw yung nagbigay sa isang kumpanya ng long bond paper or short bond paper, example lang, no? It's a traditional resume. And for some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Okay? Nilipad ng hangin. Hindi mo kasalanan. Kasalanan ng hangin eh. Diba? May nakapulot na stranger. All your information, alam na nung stranger. Tama? And you cannot deny it because you know what I'm saying is true. Diba? Hindi mo kilala pero alam niya yung details mo. Now, using your ResumeLink card, same scenario. Nagbigay ka ng ResumeLink card sa company, nilipad ng hangin ngayon. May na stranger na nakapulot, okay lang. Bakit? Kampante ka. Kasi yung ResumeLink, ikaw may control ng privacy settings mo. That's why, in your ResumeLink card, what I recommend, you just simply put your name and your resume link. Dalawa lang. That's it. If you want to put your mobile number, it's okay. It's up to you. You can put it there. Diba? Pero ang point ko is, ResumeLink, pwede na siya makita ng mga HR or mga companies na bibigyan mo. Diba? So you have peace of mind now. Okay? So there's a lot of advantages using ResumeLinks. In fact, doon pa lang sa privacy portion, panalong-panalo ka na. Ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo real time. Pagdating sa speed of hire, it becomes faster and more efficient because whatever you want to show the HR, you just attach it there. Whatever the HR needs from you, they just ask from you. Diba? You take a picture, you scan them, upload it there, and later on, pag okay na, you now turn off yung privacy settings mo. Diba? Or you can remove them in the attachments. Diba? Cost efficient, definitely wala tong gastos, tipid. Diba? If you're thinking, ay sir, paano po yung internet, kailangan ng pang-load? Pwede ka maging resourceful. Connect lang tayo sa mga libreng wifi. O, diba? And then, pagdating sa flexibility, if you really want to have it printed out, yung inyong resume, you also have the option to print it out. That's like how I showed it to you, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, it's really up to you. Pero ang point ko is, ResumeLink na lahat yan. Okay? And you can use this to any platform, whatever platform you want to share it to. You want to share it sa mga messenger nyo, you want to share it sa email, sa Viber, sa text, diba? Gusto mo, kaya ko bahala. Diba? Gusto mo, sulat mo sa papel, tapos gawa ka ng airplane, palipad mo, diba? May nakakuha, alam niya yung ResumeLink mo. Ikaw bahala. Okay? Ikaw may control kung sino ang gusto mo bigyan. Okay? You don't have to use your USBs anymore. You don't have to save it sa hard drive. Baka mawala pa yung USB nyo. Delikado. Diba? Wag na. Baka kung ano pa makita ng mga nakakapulot ng mga USB na yan. Okay? So you don't need to worry about compatibility as well because this is compatible to any platform. If you're using Android, you're using Safari, kung ano magamit mo, pwede yan sa kahit anong version. Okay? And so, just to promote lang, if you want to be part of our team, we're also hiring. Mismo sa jobs180.com, we're hiring for several opportunities, several vacancies yan. Check out na lang yung aming jobs180.com/jobs180 na page. Okay? And by the grace of God, shout out lang ako, right now we have more than 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, from north all the way to the south of the Philippines. Thank you, Lord. O, diba? Ang kinalat namin, hindi lang virus. Biro lang. Kinalat namin ResumeLink. Yan ang kinalat natin. So, a lot of schools now, including your alma mater, are now using the ResumeLink. So, I hope it doesn't stop here. No? You become a blessing to others as well. If you have friends, you have yung mga relatives mo na sa tingin mo kailangan nitong tool na ito, you can share it to them. Wala namang bayad libre naman yan. Okay? And so, as we close this portion, I'd like to discuss some of the frequently asked questions. Baka ito yung mga agam nyo or ito yung mga questions na gusto nyo tanungin. Sagutin ko na muna. Okay? Unang tanong, can I give my resume links to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. Basta alam nila eksaktong link mo at ikaw may control, sino bibigyan mo nun? Ikaw lang ang magbibigay, diba? So ikaw lang may alam sino binigyan mo. Okay? Now, second question, is it the same as other job platform kagaya ng JobStreet, LinkedIn, or any other job site? The answer is no. May dalawang pagkakaiba. And let me use an example here. Let me do a shout out to JobStreet, no? Because I think you guys know what JobStreet is. So, shout out lang to them sa mga nasa JobStreet. If you're using JobStreet na resume, you can only apply to companies who are using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. Pero pag gamit mo yung resume link mo, pwede mo yung gamitin kahit na saan, kahit na kanino, kahit na anong platform. Diba? Basta alam ng HR yung eksaktong link mo at ikaw magbibigay nun. That's the first difference. Second difference, if you have already submitted your JobStreet resume to an HR, you cannot change anything anymore. Well, you can on your end, but it will not be reflected on the HR. Hindi siya magiging real-time update. Comparing it to resume link ni Jobs 180, you can update it real-time. 2 days later, 5 minutes later, 6 weeks later, ikaw bahala. Anytime nag-update ka ng information, lahat na in-update mo, dagdag bawas, will be reflected real-time across all na may alam ng resume link mo. Okay? So those are the two major differences. Now, pagdating sa pangatlong question, yan ang pinaka-simpleng tanong. Can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na job application platform. Okay? So, use your resume link. Number 4 question, I think is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? The answer is every time. Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Okay? Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Lalong-lalo na yung contact details mo. Kasi imagine, binago mo lahat. Binago mo yung work experience mo, nagkaroon ka ng awards, nagkaroon ng achievement, hindi ka naman makontak ng HR. Wala rin, di ba? Sayang din. That's why you have to update yung contact details niyo. Okay? And the last question is just a trivia. Trivia lang, palaisipan. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around 180 degrees. And in case you're wondering, no, you wanted to raise a concern, bakit hindi po 360? Kasi pag 360 degrees, you only go back to where you started. Ikot ka lang na ikot, wala kang pupuntahan. 'Di ba? Bumabalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Oh, ha? Oh, 'di ba? Char lang 'yan. Okay? So, anyways, again, kung meron pa kayo ibang questions, just in case you have questions, okay? You may send those questions here through our website, www.jobs180.com. You can also email us or email me here sa info@jobs180.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, pati na rin sa TikTok. Okay? So, check us out on all our social media platform. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa. Okay? Isang magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sir Kim. So to our audience, the floor is now open for questions. So I'll go first so you can think about your questions. First question, sir. Is it okay to apply to jobs not related to your course, not directly related to your course?
The answer is definitely yes. You can check out any company, any position that are outside of your specialization. As long as you do your research first, make sure alam mo yung papasukan nyo, tingnan nyo na mabuti, and then once you're decided, then you submit your resume link. Yan. So, pwede, kahit saan.
Next question, sir. For example, you're already sending out applications. Just to manage expectations, how many yung pwede mong masendan? Like, can you do 100 a day? Is that a good thing?
Wala naman limit. O wala naman siyang limit sa dami ng pwede mo applyan. Pero, hindi naman, well, statistically speaking, the more entries you submit, the more chances of winning. Diba? Yun naman ang totoo. Pero dito naman sa scenario ng paghanap ng work, I think it's not just about the quantity. You should look at the quality rin, no, of because you can only do so much. You apply to 100 companies. Let's imagine na lang, nag-apply ka sa 100 companies. Tapos tinawagan ka nung ano, let's just say 20%. Oh, 20% na lang. 20 doon tumawag sa iyo, 'di ba? And then they wanted to schedule you. Will you be able to accommodate? O yun yung isipin mo. Now, if you compare that to say applying to 10 companies, 20% of them will call you. Same percentage din, no? Dalawa yung tumawag out of 10. Then the chances of you being able to accommodate will be higher. Diba? Pero ang akin lang, hindi ko kayo ni-discourage, no, yung mga audience, hindi ko ni-discourage na mag-apply, na wag mag, sorry, ang labo ko. Hindi ko sinasabing wag kayo mag-apply sa maraming companies. Okay, pwede kang mag-apply sa maraming companies. No? Basta lang, you're able to check first yung papasukan ninyo. Hindi yung submit lang ng submit, tapos pag tinawagan kayo ng company, you don't even know na nag-apply pala kayo doon sa company na yun. Sometimes that happens to me, no? Pagka tinatawagan ko yung mga aplikante, sabihin ko, so why did you apply for this certain position or for our company? Ang tanong sa akin ng aplikante, I don't even remember applying. So ako, okay, so sayang oras, 'di ba? You're just wasting your time and of course the time of the HR. Kaya mabuti na i-ano nyo muna, i-check nyo na muna, 'di ba? You have to run through it and make sure na yun talaga yung mga a-applyan nyo. Now, sa dami, okay lang, apply ka sa 100, okay lang. That's to answer the question of Ma'am Shari. If you want to apply to 200 positions, it's okay. 'Di ba? It increases the chances of you getting that job or landing the job. Pero you have to be prepared. Prepare lang kayo na pagka tinawagan kayo ng 20% na yon. I'm just looking at 20%. So, kung 200 yung in-applyan mo, tapos 40 yung tumawag, edi happy ka niya. Di ba? Busy ka niya. Halos oras-oras siguro may schedule ka sa kausap mo, di ba? Sa interview. Ayan. So, ganun yun.
Can we ask the usual turnaround time, sir?
Pag nag-apply, kung gaano katagal pinaprocess, may mga companies, different companies, different ang recruitment nila schedule, no, or processing nila. Yung iba, most of the time, I think 2 weeks time, they will be able to process you. No, so once you start submitting, expect mo that they'll process, they'll do their background checking, they'll do initial screening, and then they'll also compare from other applicants, diba? Tapos pagka nakita na nila, and then in 2 weeks time, I think yan yung buong process. Siguro, matagal na ang 1 month for them to process for that vacancy. Lalo na if it's an urgent hiring. Pag pooling, edi wala masyadong urgency doon. No? They just submit and then they just tell you you're an active file and then open-ended yan. Kumbaga pagka gano'n ng scenario, apply pa kayo sa iba habang nag-aantay kayo doon. Diba? Pero pagka urgent yung position, I think 2 weeks to 1 month is ideal time, no, for you to be considered. Kung talagang pasok, qualified, in 1 month time, you will land the job.
Okay. And sir, may we confirm that they will see the status of their applications on their
Yes.
180 dashboard?
Tama ka dyan, Ma'am Shari. Pag kayo ay gumamit ng Jobs 180 account sa dashboard nyo, so when you apply for companies, you will see there yung status. No, kapag pinaprocess na kayo ng mga companies, naka-reflect doon, you're now being processed. So hindi mo na kailangan kulitin yung company to say, hello po ma'am, I applied to you yesterday. May I know kung pasado po ba ako? O diba? Tapos mamaya, 2 days later, tawag ko ulit, hello ma'am, ako po yung tumawag sa inyo kahapon, following up on my application 2 days ago. O diba? Hindi mo kailangan yun, kulitin. No? So you can already see the status. If they move you say to a different status, then naka-reflect naman doon. Pero usually para simple na lang, you're now being processed. Yan ang naka-reflect dyan. Pag nakita nyo unprocessed, yon ang ibig sabihin, hindi pa kayo binubuksan or hindi pa sinisimulan i-process yung application nyo. Okay? There.
Pag kunyari, sir, unprocessed siya for about a month na, ibig mong sabihin nun, possible that you're not qualified for the position?
2 possibilities nakikita ko. Kapag ka 1 month na, tapos na yung 30 days, no? Nag-apply ka, 30 days na, tapos nakalagay unprocessed pa rin, dalawa yung possibility niyan. One is, yung in-applyan mo, sobrang dami nag-apply. As in, there are certain positions na na-overwhelm din yung HR, baka kulang sila sa tao to process. They can only do so much in a day, aside from other things that they need to do. So baka hindi pa sila umaabot dun sa application mo. Kumbaga. So kaya naka-unprocess ka pa. But they're still continuously processing. The other scenario is yung sinabi ni Ma'am Shari. Possibly, they have already filled the position. Naunahan ka na iba pang mas qualified na applicant, and then definitely they won't have time na to go to your to your application na kasi na process na nila, 'di ba? So ang sa akin lang siguro the best way to do this is when you see some companies that you're interested to apply, check. Pag okay na, submit. Diba? Pag nag-submit ka, you don't just wait after applying for one, tapos wait ka ng 30 days. Hindi ganun, no? Apply ka, tapos tingin ka pa ulit while waiting, explore, submit ka ulit, while waiting, submit ka ulit. Diba? Kumbaga, you manage your time well. Para pagka yung pacing mo, maayos naman, and then they start to call you can also be open to them and saying, I have also applied to other companies and I'm still waiting for some feedback. Depende na lang kung yun ay talagang mas inaay mo more than doon sa tumawag na sa inyo. Di ba? Pero pag may tumawag na sa inyo na talagang gusto mo naman yung trabaho yun, definitely I encourage you to grab na. Di ba? Kunin mo na. Di ba? Yung work na yun. Yun po.
Okay. Okay, so thank you for that. Thank you for answering your question, sir. So to our job seekers, to our audience, libre magtanong. So huwag kayong matakot. Sasagutin natin yan. Meron pa tayong
Oo,
three
sige. Dalawang schools na nandito, Ma'am Shari.
na magto-talk today. So, libreng-libre magtanong. So, don't worry about it. So, don't forget to visit your school sites. Those are schools.job290.com/DFCAMC. And for St. Jude College of Dasma, that's schools.job290.com SJCDC.
Oh, medyo mahaba-haba lang, no? Puro acronym tong mga sa mga schools. But you'll get to that page as well. Pag hindi mo mahanap yung mga page na to kasi medyo madaming letters, jumble-jumble na, halimbawa, you just go to jobs180.com, www.jobs180.com, at doon, you can also explore for companies. Okay? Pwede rin. Either way, you get there. Yun po.
Okay, so thank you for that, Sir Kim.
Thank you. Have a good day.
So to everyone, we're done with our first topic. So we are on to our second topic, which is building an innovative mindset, how to deliver results through unconventional ways. So this will be discussed by Sir Sherwin G. Marasigan, HR Manager, HR Business Partner for ADP Philippines. Sir Sherwin has been with ADP Philippines for more than 8 years as an HR Manager and HR Business Partner. Sir Sherwin's career of over 18 years include talent acquisition, training and leadership development, employee engagement, performance management, and succession planning, mostly in the knowledge process outsourcing or legal process outsourcing industry, as well as the BPO industry, having worked for IBM Business Services, Baker and McKenzie, and Checkwell Solutions. He is most inclined towards employee labor relations, process improvement, talent development, and employee engagement. Let's give the floor to Sir Sherwin Marcia. Hi, Sir Sherwin. How are
Hi,
you?
Shari. Okay, nice to
Hi,
meet you
hi.
again.
Yes, sir. For
Thank you for the
today,
introduction.
we have students from SJCDC
Mm,
and DFCAM. So, can we test your deck, sir?
Okay, let me just share it. Let me know if you can see it, Shari.
Okay, okay. Okay, so to everybody, again, the evaluation is at the end. So, please tag your friends para hindi nila ma-miss yung activity today. Okay, Sir Sherwin, your deck is up. I leave it to it, and I'll be back for Q&A. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Shari. So again, good morning to everyone from the FCAM and St. Jude College. So again, my name is Sherwin Marasigan. I'm one of the HR manager here in ADP Philippines, as well as an HR business partner. So I'm here to discuss with you the topic building an innovative mindset, delivering results through unconventional ways. So before I go deeper in this subject, let me first share with you, or let me ask, what does innovation mean? So innovation is derived from the Latin verb rather, innovare, which means to renew. So it is to improve or to replace something. It may be a product, a process, a service, a field, or any idea, or even a specific technology that's being used by the organization. Let us also dig deeper in terms of what does innovative mindset is. So when you think of innovative mindset, it is the belief that abilities, intelligence, and talents are developed leading to creation of new and better ideas. Innovative mindset actually involves approaching problems and opportunity within an open mind. It seeks out new and better ways of doing things, and often through experimentation or by trial. And innovative mindset requires every individual to embrace uncertainty and ambiguity, and requires individual to be comfortable with failure, because in failing, you get to develop new skills and learn new things as well. There. So how do we create an innovative mindset? So these things that I've shared with you are my personal experience being a manager is really keen to changes and transformation. So first and foremost, you have to be open to change. Change may be something that's very scary for some people, and sometimes it's very uncomfortable for them as well. But having an innovative mindset, it's important for you to be curious all the time and to see change as a good thing. Because in having innovation or any transformation project, you look at the possibility of seeking new things, seeking new ideas, seeking new innovation. And if you want to create an innovation mindset, you should always be open to change and look for opportunity in every transformation. There. Next, embrace failure. So, similar to change, failure may be viewed as something is bad or something also uncomfortable for you. But take in mind that failing is actually an opportunity for you to grow as an individual. It is an opportunity for you to learn new things and to learn the things that the bad things that you experience, and how can you do good things about that. So it's a mindset that encourages you that failing will not stop you from innovating anything. And you should always keep in mind that the more you fail, as they say, the more you learn and the faster you grow, not only as an individual, but also in the future as an employee of an organization. Third, act fast. So we are now in a century where technology, an example would be mobile, our phones, iPhone, for those who have iPhones, for those who have Android phones. Every single like month or quarter or within a year, you see a lot of changes happening. There's a lot of innovation projects that they're doing, changes in how they use their mobiles. So if you want to have an innovative mindset, you have to act really fast, because your idea may not be implemented if you do not work really fast. And if you want to keep up with changes and transformation, innovation should always be seen as a fast-moving process. So it's about going from an idea to concept to the market or your target audience afterwards as fast as possible. And of course, do not lose focus on the quality. Last, think big. So what do you mean by think big? Thinking big does not mean that you have to have big projects, big innovation, big transformation projects, but rather having a mindset that it's all about believing big things, changes can happen. Having that kind of mindset encourages you to think of better ways how to improve things. Even if it's small, a small idea, it can actually help you in the long run. It also stretches your thoughts out of ordinary thinking. Yeah. And also, next slide, I'll talk about, so what is the ingredients of having an innovative mindset? Ano ba yung pinaka-importante? What are the essentials? So these are again things that I can share with you based off my experience in having transformation projects or innovation projects. first, creativity there. So innovative thinkers are creative and able to generate new ideas and solutions. They often approach one problem from multiple angles, hindi lang one solution. So as they say, there are multiple ways in solving a mathematical equation. So having that kind of mindset helps you to look at different angles and create ways in how to improve a process, a product, what have you, and eventually implement it. And while it's implemented, you also think creatively in how to further enhance that project as well. Curiosity. When you have an innovative mindset, you always ask questions. You always think of the whys. If you are familiar with the four W's and an H, so that's what, when, where, who, and how. So when you talk about innovation projects or transformation projects, what what is the project all about? What do you intend to do in a specific project? Where is it going to be implemented? Uh, where where is it going to be placed? What have you? When when is the deadline? When is it needed? And then who are the people involved in the project? Who can I tap or make a resource to help me with the project? And lastly, how do I implement it? How does it work? How do I want it to behave or to function? So having this kind of mindset is really essential. And having, again, being curious helps you a lot in asking those four W's and H. Next, flexibility. So innovative thinkers are very flexible and adaptable. They can pivot quickly in response to changing circumstances and are not afraid to abandon ideas that are not working. So you have to be very flexible as well. So this is an essential ingredient in being innovative, having an innovative mindset. Next, risk taking. Okay. Innovative thinkers are willing to take the risk. Without taking risk, you will not be able to learn new things and be able to assess will it uh, will it function, will it work, or will not. So be able to take this kind of mindset, it helps you or gives you courage to move forward with your project or with your transformation projects. Persistence. So innovative thinkers are persistent and resilient. They do not give up easily because when you work in a certain project, you want it uh, through and through, from end to end, from doing the research, doing the legwork, documentation, until project implementation. Even not only project implementation, even post evaluation, because we want to evaluate if the change or the innovation really work as intended to. And of course, if it works, you also think of creative ways in how to improve it further or enhance it further so that it can be easier not only for the users but also the organization and also for you as well because it helps you learn new things. So you have to be very persistent. Next, collaboration. So innovative thinkers are very collaborative. Yes, it's very convenient to work on your own in a specific project where you have all the time that you can manage, that you can go through your day to day activities as well and be able to research on things. But it is essential for you to be able to work with different kinds of people or types of people. Why is it? Because what you read in the internet, what you read in your research, and those that you've gained or have knowledge to may not be something that the people who will be working with the tool that you are trying to innovate, they may have different perception as well. So it's important that you have to be very collaborative. Why? You need to know or talk to people who are subject matter experts who will use the tool. So usually, not usually, when you go out in the malls and you attend specific talks regarding a tool or a system or a gadget, they ask for your feedback because it's important for them to know how it feels when you use it, the gadget. Similarly, in collaboration, it helps you gain more knowledge, perspective on what people think about the project. And eventually, if there are people going to use this innovation, you also need to get their feedback as well or their evaluation in terms of if it's really working or not. There. So building an innovative mindset and delivering results. So how do we now evaluate if it's effective or not? First and foremost, if it's saleable, that's one, and if the tool is working as intended to. But in working in an organization, for you to be able to measure the result of your innovation or transformation project, these are the following key areas that you would like to look at. First, creativity. So, creativity means finding strategic issues and consistently solving them to create real business value. So, it encourages the organization, not only the organization, but also the employees or its associates to be creative in thinking different ways on how to solve a certain problem. So it encourages people to think out of the box. Having that kind of mindset actually helps the organization to have a lot of thinkers, have a lot of people that they can work with, and it lowers your attrition because it increases engagement as well. Ideation in connection to creativity, having a culture of people who can voice out their ideas will help not only the organization to grow, but also for its employees' professional development. Just to give you an example, so here in our company, ADP, we have this what we call the voice. So it's not a singing competition. So the voice actually is an avenue or a venue for our associates, our employees to voice out their ideas. So in having this kind of culture or practice in an organization, it makes the associates or employees feel that my idea, my voice matters. And management cares about that. And as a result, it again lowers attrition and increases employee engagement. Yeah. Culture. In connection to the first two, when you have an innovative mindset, and also if the company encourages idea for them to be creative, it builds a culture that supports innovation, also motivates people to improve themselves. Because again, when I mentioned in the first few slides, when you have the an innovation mindset, you don't help only the market or other people. You also help yourself because you get to learn new things, and it encourages you to grow with the company and also with yourself because you have new knowledges, new skills that you acquire in the whole process. Inclusivity. So also in connection for the three first bullets, it makes our employees feel that they belong to a certain organization. It feels that their opinion matters. What they say, what they share, really is important for us. So it feels that you are included or you belong to the organization. Lastly, mindedness. So having an innovation mindset means being open minded to change, and change is something that is constant, and it encourages people to speak out as well. So having this kind of culture, this kind of practice in an organization makes every individual feel that they are important as well. So to summarize my presentation, when you talk about innovation, it develops the creative side of every individual to help not only that individual but also the organization. It pushes people to think further. It enhances their creativity, their skills, because in the long run you get to learn new things, you get to approach, have different approach in solving a problem. It also encourages you to be comfortable with failure, because again, being comfortable with failure or change can help you in the long run. And then lastly, it builds a culture of having associate perceive the company or the organization that they are important. And as a result, not only that you help the employees, you help yourself and also the organization, as well as your target market or your target audience in that transformation project that you would like to implement. So before I end my presentation, let me share to you what ADP is. So ADP Philippines is a human capital management services company. So when you talk about HCM, human capital management, it's an HR service company. So we cater to different clients. We work with different companies with regard to human resource services. So it includes payroll processing, benefits administration or enrollment. It talks about taxes. It talks about compliance. And then our clients are not are not customers. So clients are professionals. So these are employees of the company, even HR management team, and even the owners of the business. So we work with these people. We don't sell any product. We provide services. So if you would like to apply, you can visit jobs180.com/adp, or you can send us an email at bmore@adp.com, or at ph. You can also visit our site at phjobs.adp.com. So with that, thank you very much, and let me know if you have questions.
Thank you for that, Sir Sherwin. So, to our audience, the floor is now open for questions. I'll go first. Ayan. Sir,
Sure.
what is the usual hindrance to innovation? Would it be tradition, close-mindedness, politics?
Mhm.
What do you think, sir?
Actually, all of those. But the pinaka una-una would be yung self. The feeling of being rejected, the feeling of that you will fail, and the feeling that you will not be heard by the company. So, like us here in ADP, we really encourage people to speak out. Kaya nga meron kaming The Voice project. So, aside from those that you mentioned about tradition, you also have to assess kasi if you would want to belong in an organization who is traditional. So you have to, like what Kim mentioned a while ago, kailangan niya mag-research about the company. And if you're a person who always suggests things, uh, trying to improve another process or what have you, join an organization that encourages that kind of behavior. Yun. So again, research about the company that you would want to apply to. Kasi pag traditional, medyo mahirap. Pag traditional, usually processes are already intact. Hindi na talaga mababago. And they have this mindset na, it works for me. So why would you want to suggest a change? So wala nang problema sa process natin. Why you would need to change? Yun. So politics as well. Politics might be within your peer, same level, also management. Pag sinasabi nilang hindi ka favorite, di ba? So, it's going to be a hindrance for you to suggest kasi hindi ka nga favorite. So, look for companies. How do you assess if a company have that kind of mindset? Uh, One thing that I tell fresh graduates, do not be afraid to ask team culture. So when the recruiter is done interviewing you, screening you, they would say, "Do you have any question?" Siyempre, you don't ask muna about salary, di ba? Kasi di mo pa nga alam kung matatanggap ka. But rather ask the important thing. What's the culture of the company? What is the team culture if ever I'll be hired for this specific role? and be part of the specific team, what's their culture? Kasi doon mo malalaman kung traditional sila or kung meron bang a hint of politics, di ba? So the recruiters might be, syempre, sasabihin nila yung mga positive about things. But you would know naman if it's authentic in terms of the reaction or not, or if it's scripted. Yun. So ask that kind of question, the structure, the org structure, the culture, how is innovation in the company. Those are the questions that really matters. And mind you, if you ask those questions, the recruiter would actually remember you. It will help them assess na pwede ka nilang i-hire because you have that kind of inquiries or questions.
Okay, okay. Thank you for that, sir. Next question. You mentioned, sir, a while ago that associates at your company are expected to make significant and innovative contributions to the organization. So, may we confirm that people who will be entering the industry at entry level roles, um, their superiors or their supervisors or their managers will take them seriously regardless of this of their position or age. May we confirm this, sir? Or is
Yes.
it like
Yes.
exclusive to the BPO industry?
Like in our company, yes, definitely yes. Every single idea matters. Kaya nga we have the project The Voice. Kahit new hire ka, even in the orientation, when we have the orientation for our new hires, we tell them ahead that hey, if you've seen the presentation or orientation, if you think of something that you would want to share, an idea, go to the voice tool. You can suggest there na baka pwede yung even the presenters, the facilitators in the orientation, new hire orientation, we ask feedback how we did in the presentation. They can tell us after the presentation that we encourage them to tell na okay na ba yung sinabi ko, mayroon bang information na kailangan niyo pang malaman. So as simple as that, in day one, it's already being encouraged or people are encouraged to really voice out. So regardless, even our contractors, mind you, our contractors would be yung third-party vendors namin, yung mga security guards, yung maintenance namin who handles the daily uh, cleaning. We also ask them, ano ba mas madali para sa inyo magtrabaho in our company? So, like, I pagpasok ko ngayon, I even asked ate who was cleaning, ate, sa tingin mo ba maganda bang ganito yung gamitin yung detergent kaysa yung yan ang ginagamit nyo? Kasi parang feeling ko, yung kamay nyo masusugatan dahil dyan eh. So, uusap kami, simple talk. So, those things matters. And mind you, I tell their manager about that. This is a suggestion from your employee, and I think there's value in looking at it. So, as simple as that, it might not be something big, again. So, it encourages and makes you feel that you belong. Kahit third party vendor ka, di ba? So, we make that them feel that they belong. They are
Okay,
part
thank
of the
you for that,
organization.
sir. Ayan. Sir, last question na lang po. Recruitment question.
Sure.
Sorry, sir. Recruitment.
Go lang.
Um, what happens to people who don't show up for their scheduled interview? Because I feel
There,
that this is a rampant, ano, sir. So we wanted to let the audience know.
one advice that I gave my recruiters is that don't be emotional about it. There are a lot of things that's happening nowadays that we do not understand. Baka naman yung aplikante na knock on wood, na aksidente, or meron siyang emergency, or may setback, or merong importante na hindi ka nasabihan agad-agad because something happened. So, hindi porket hindi nag-no-show or hindi natawagan na contact, it means, wag na to, hindi na ito papasa. So, follow through. Text them, send them an email, ask them how they are. All communication lines should be open. So, text, email, even messenger, Viber. Baka kasi walang internet or alam mo yon naubusan ng load. Sorry, nalobat rather, kaya hindi makontakt. Or baka dahil galing sa night shift, nakatulog there. So it's important that as recruiters, communicate to them. Doon mo malalaman talaga yung reason kung talagang interested yung aplikante or not. But on set, pag nag-no show, try to take the higher ground to understand further. Yun. So that's always my practice with my recruiters, that to have the kind of mindset. Para at the end of the day, it's not something stressful for them as well, and we do not blacklist applicant because of one no show. Yeah. So there are a lot of reasons kung bakit hindi sila nakapag-show up. Yeah.
Ayan. Thank you for that, sir. So, to our audience, ibig sabihin, marami kayong chances. So, pero don't take this as a leeway for you to
Mm-mm.
keep on
To
ghosting.
abuse naman.
Oh, yes. So, ngayon, so narinig natin from Sir Sherwin that they give you a lot of leeways to if you have emergencies or anything of that sort. Hindi naman kayo mabablacklist. Pero syempre, this is a rule that should not be abused. Ayan. So, Sir Sherwin, thank you so much for
Thank you din.
accommodating our request. Ayan. So, thank you, sir. So, to
Thank
our
you.
audience, please don't forget to visit their career site that's on your screen right now. That's jobs20.com/ADP. Do your research, check what position suits you best, and then when you're ready to apply, send those applications. So thank you, Sir
Thank
Sherwin.
you, Shari. Same to you. Bye-bye.
Ayan. So, moving on to our next topic, we have the new era of work, adapting to the new environment. So, this will be discussed by Miss Bee Barbarona, Talent Acquisition Specialist over at VXI, and Miss Rhea Lay Obeja, Talent Acquisition Language Team, LEAP Trainer for VXI. So, let me introduce Miss Bea. Miss Bea is a graduate of Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration, major in Human Resource Development Management at Holy Cross of Davao College. She started her BPO career at 2016 for a year and 6 months as an agent and employee engagement officer. She transferred to another BPO company where she stayed for 3 years. 1 year as an agent and 2 years as a product credit trainer for two retail accounts. With her years of BPO experience, she joined VXI last February 2021 as part of the language team. So, Miss Rhea, on another hand, is a graduate of BS Psychology. She began her career as a call center agent in 2015, and in 2022, she joined VXI, where she later became a trainer after being hired as one of the language interviewers. So we give the floor to the VXI team, Miss Bea and Miss Lay. Hi,
Hi,
Miss Bea. Hi,
hi
Miss Lay.
everyone. Good morning.
Are you? Hope you're well.
Doing
Let's
great. Thank you.
start now.
Let me present my screen.
Okay. So for today, we are joined by two schools. We have DFCAM C and another one is St. Jude College in Dasmarinas. So the deck is up. So I leave it to it. Miss Lay, Miss Bea. So you have the floor and I'll be back for Q&A. You have 20 minutes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hi everyone. Good morning. It's been a while since I've done this talk as well, and welcome to everyone who's here. So I'll start off our discussion with maximizing the best of both worlds, the new era of work, and how to adapt to the new normal environment. Now, of course, hybrid work is a flexible work model that supports a blend in of in office or remote and on the go workers. It also offers employees the autonomy to choose to work wherever and however they are most productive. The trend actually started in the early 2000s when the internet became good enough and reliable enough to be used at home. So in hybrid one, the work desk could be anywhere as long as you have an electrical socket and an Ethernet cable. Sorry. The hybrid work actually was a game changer during the pandemic. Obviously, when the whole world actually was in lockdown, the most affected industry during that time was the corporate industry or the businesses, because of course no employees will be working from their offices, so they had to really adapt to the change and to work remotely or from home.
Now, for some industry, after the lockdown, some industries had to ask their employees to go back and work in the offices. But there were some who really prefers to work at home. And the reason behind that is because even now, we still have COVID around, right? And because it's not safe for everyone, especially for our folks who's not yet vaccinated, they would really prefer to work from home so long as they have like a good stable internet connection, and of course they have a work from home setup or equipment, so that should be fine. In my experience, when I started working with VXI back in 2021, I had to work on site for a couple of months, and then after that, there was already the lockdown. So of course, fortunately, I had like a work from home setup at the time, so I was able to really still work even though I was at home. So I was still conducting classes and trainings on at home, and of course, it was kind of difficult because when you're going to be training people, you prefer to meet them, you prefer to do it face to face. There were also some agents who has to work at home at the time. So long as they have good internet connection, of course, the company would also allow you for that specific setup. Now, the situation when you work from home or the hybrid setup is, of course, employees will be returning to the office in droves, and hybrid work arrangements are quickly becoming the new normal for many remote capable employees. Employers are also scrambling to determine how to make hybrid work as engaging and productive as possible. You also need to develop or craft an effective hybrid strategy. Work environment and culture begins with leaning into what's working and adjusting to what's not working and adapting as lessons are learned. Definitely, it's going to be difficult for a person who's working at home to really have that interaction with other employees, because you basically face your computer and you're not going to be talking to anyone unless you give them a call, unless you meet them via Zoom meetings or Google Meet meetings or Microsoft Teams meetings. And of course, there's really that little bit of disconnect with your other colleagues in the industry. For us in the BPO industry, for agents as well to adapt to that situation, it was difficult at first because there are some people who's really into talking to people personally, like very extrovert to the point that they won't have any difficulties making connections with other people, with their teammates, for example. And then there are some as well who prefers to really work at home and doesn't really mind if they don't talk to anyone. They just do their job, finish their task, and then end their shift as it is. But you have to also realize when working in a hybrid setup, you have to prepare yourself not only mentally but physically as well. In the long run, something's going to really take a long toll in yourself if you're going to just continue working at home. And these are some of the challenges when you're going to be working in a hybrid setup. First, there's going to be less access to work resources and equipments. In the BPO industry, we're very used to working on site, and all of our agents are actually working on site as well. The reason behind this is the equipments, everything you need to have while taking calls, even for the training team or even for your supervisors. All the equipments and resources you need is in the office. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to be provided resources and equipments, all right? But it's easier to access these things if you are working on site. For example, your equipment or your workstation, your computer, all of a sudden breaks down. Now, it's going to be very difficult for you to communicate or to look for an IT because you have to check for one if they're available or not. And most of the IT guys are going to roam around the production floor to check on the computers, to check on the servers, and to check on the technical stuff with what's happening in the BPO industry. I'm sorry, I'm not so good about that. And then for some reason, these people will not be available online through their computers because they're going to be working as well. So if you're going to be working from home, it's difficult to look for an available person who's going to help you or assist you. Whereas if you are on site, you can just easily give a certain department a call and look for that person, and then that person just shows up to your station and fixes whatever it is that you need fixing. So that's one of the struggles in working in a hybrid setup. Another one is impaired working relationship with coworkers. I personally had an experience with this. So again, going back in 2021 when I started working in VXI, I, of course, had to work on site. And since I just started, I'm still finding my foot around the office, finding my way to communicate with my colleagues and to talk to my coworkers. When all of a sudden, when we were asked to work on at home for the meantime because of the lockdown, it was, of course, very difficult to create relationships with your colleagues. Now, when we were asked to go back to site because lockdown is over, it was very challenging at first. You feel like you have that disconnect with other people, and of course, for me, I'm not really like an extrovert type of person. I'm not going to say I'm introvert, but I do find it difficult for myself to really make connections or build relationships with people, even though I'm a trainer. I find it difficult on my end. And that actually heightened when we were asked to go back to work on site after the lockdown. So I have to start over basically. The relationship I had built for starting working in VXI for a couple of months, I had to rebuild that again because of that disconnect when the lockdown happened. So that's one thing that I personally can share to everyone as well, that I find challenging during a hybrid setup or when you are in a hybrid setup. Next is it will be more difficult to coordinate work schedules, tasks, and timelines. Now, if you're going to be working in a hybrid setup, you're basically going to look at your calendar for the whole shift because you're going to be checking if you have meetings, if you have calls with certain people, with your colleagues, or with your teammates, or with your bosses. Now, for coordinating work schedules, you have to make sure that that person, when you send an invite or a calendar invite to that person for a scheduled work or meeting, and they basically send you a rejection email, then you're not going to have to the time to finish your task or your work. And of course, whereas if you're going to be working on site or at the office, you will have the opportunity or the ability to easily coordinate the task or the work with your colleagues because you're basically just going to be around everywhere. So that's one thing that I also noticed, especially when I was also working at home during that time before. Disrupted processes. So there will be some cases, not really most of the time, but there will be some instances that you will have a moment that your process or your work will be disrupted. For me personally, it's not really the process that usually get disrupted, it's my work or my task within the day. I'd like to share to everyone I have three dogs, and mind you, these dogs are not really that calm for the most part of the day. So whenever my dogs chooses violence all of a sudden, then I have to break that up because one way or another, one of them would probably get injured along the way, and I have to make sure that none of my dogs gets injured. So I have to take a pause with what I'm doing. I have to attend to my dogs. Then once they're calm, then that's the time that I can go back to work. Aside from that, we also have sometimes our parents. We have our parents, guests over, our siblings or their friends coming over. So of course, that's also going to interrupt you or disrupt whatever it is that you're doing if you're working from home. Us Filipinos, we're very used to whenever there's a guest, you have to greet them. So even if you don't want to, there are times that you'll be forced to go out of the room and then greet them. Just because, of course, you have to also respect what your parents would be asking you. And I personally did experience that as well before. Reduce cross functional communication and collaboration. Like what I said with impaired working relationship earlier, there's really going to be one little bit of disconnect to how you communicate. Now, for example, if you're going to be conducting meetings or communication over Zoom or virtual meeting, when you're going to explain something, a part of that explanation will really have a bit of a disconnect with one of the members or the participants in that meeting. And of course, they're going to be asking questions, they're going to be clarifying everything that they need to clarify. And there are some times that every after meeting, one of that participant or employee or colleague will really have that question that they failed to ask during the meeting. And then sometimes what happens is they message them privately, but there is a possibility that they won't be getting any response right away. So they have to wait. So that's going to create not really like a commotion, but a difficulty to continue work and to be able to work on that specific task. Especially when you are in a line of work that you need to collaborate with other people, communication is always a key to any form of method, whether that's a text message, via Messenger, via Viber, WhatsApp, or whatever it is that you're using for communicating with your colleagues. You have to make sure you're available, especially if you are on shift, because some of the questions may be urgent, which you need to attend to right away. And if, of course, you fail to communicate or you fail to respond to that message, then one of the colleagues who's reaching out to you will have like a delay on what they're doing and what they're finishing at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be really difficult to communicate, and that's one of the challenges really in working in a hybrid setup. And one thing as well that you need to remember if you're working in a hybrid setup is there's really going to be a time that you feel less connected to the organization's culture. In the BPO industry, especially VXI actually conducts a monthly event for our agents, for our employees, and for everyone, each site across Philippines. So we have 5 or 6 sites in Luzon, and we have 5 sites in Davao as well. So each site will have like a monthly activity for their people, for their agents, their employees. Now, if you are working remotely, what you will see are just images. What you will see are just like videos or Snapchats or like clips of what really happened in the office. And mind you, in VXI, we have very, very fun activities that we normally conduct on a monthly basis. And of course, I personally did experience that as well. We did not work on site right away after the lockdown, and there were some activities that I missed because, of course, I had to work at home. And looking at the images when I was seeing it being uploaded real time as well, I kind of felt jealous at the time because I would want to participate. I would want to be there. And in the BPO industry, you want to be part of what's going on in the office. And not just the events or the activities, but the totality of what really happens in the BPO industry. There are some cases as well that in the production floor, they have a certain event. When they go outside in the pantry, they have another event there waiting for other employees as well, other than the agents who's taking calls. And then when you go into a different floor in the building, there's also another event that's going on. So that's something that an agent would personally want to experience, because it's not something that we won't be allowing our agents to like look at or to attend to. Even though you're not really part of the account or the program that's handling that event, you are free to join and to watch and to listen into whatever's going on to that specific event. And that's why the BPO industry or VXI is really, really making sure that the employees are being taken care of. And there were moments in the hybrid setup that events were conducted virtually, of course, to accommodate as well our agents who's working at home. But there's really going to be a challenge there whenever you're going to conduct an activity virtually, because you won't be getting like the actual response compared to doing that in a face-to-face event. So these are some of the challenges that normally you would be experiencing in a hybrid setup. I have here one of my trainers as well, Rhea Obejas, who will be continuing with the rest of the discussion. I'll leave the floor to you, Lay.
All right, thank you, Bea. So let's talk about the expectations, or what are the expectations in a hybrid setup. What we have here would be improved work-life balance, more efficient use of time, control over work hours and work location, burnout mitigation, and higher productivity. Employees believe their current hybrid arrangements improve their personal well-being and productivity at work. Hybrid work provides the flexibility for employees to work in ways that are most effective for them. Hybrid individual contributors, managers, and senior leaders closely agree on both the top advantages and disadvantages of hybrid work, signifying more common ground in organizations that might be expected. So, as an employee, we are always looking forward to work life balance because we have to balance everything. It's not just work, it's not just always procrastinating. So, for work life balance in hybrid setup, or if you're working remotely, it saves you time for traveling, right? Because working on site requires you to make an allowance or have enough time to get to work to avoid being late. But if you're at home, you can just wake up 30 minutes before your shift. You don't have to rush because you have enough time to prepare. And not only that, it saves you money. That's the main reason why we are working, right? Because we would like to save money. So, working at home, you don't have to travel or to pay for public transportation fare. Not only that, you don't have to buy food outside. There are times, based on my personal experience, there are times that I have a budget in a day. And then when I see things outside, even if it's out of my budget, I'm tempted to buy it. But if you're at home, well, you can cook your own food, your own meal. You don't have anything to see outside that will make you feel so tempted to buy things. Not only that, of course, it's um, home cooked meal because outside, as an employee, you always, I mean, it's like you want to buy food on the go, buy fast food restaurant food that is ready for you. You don't have to cook. But it's unhealthy if you do it every day. So at home, you can cook, or if you have someone with you, or if you have siblings or parents who can cook for you, that is so much better to eat a home cooked meal, especially if it's warm. No one wants to eat cold food. Okay? And then working from home is beneficial because we get to spend time with our loved ones. We can see them while we work, and we are aware of what is going on at home, especially for parents who wants to be with their children and watch them grow. It's important because you would like to know what's happening to your family, to your kids. You want to know how their day was, and um, not only that, that's the main because we are as Filipinos, we are known to be like family-oriented country, right? We always value our family, and that's the main reason why we are working because of them. So, if given a chance to work at home, then of course we would prefer to work at home. But still, it depends on your preference because there are employees who would rather go on site because it's peaceful. Because there are also challenges working at home. Just like me, I also have a dog, so I cannot stop her from howling or screaming or I mean barking. But you know, that's another factor for you not to if you don't feel like working from home. So again, it depends on your preference. Next, 6 steps for harnessing a hybrid model and making it work. Assess your priorities. So, what's urgent may not always what's important. I do believe in that. Always put what's important first because you would like to accomplish everything. You want your day to be productive, especially in our team. That's very important to be productive all the time. And also, once you've done that, you can map out specifically what you plan to do and repeat until you create new habits. Of course, at first, um, if it's your first time working hybrid or at home, it's hard for you to find your uh, to assess your priorities. But once you get your flow, and then it's easy for you um, to identify what should go first. Next, evaluate productivity. Um, Evaluate productivity. So make it a habit to make a list or on your look at your calendar because In the office, we do that, especially when we have meetings, touch base, and you need to make sure that you accomplish everything before the end of your shift. Who wants to have backlogs? No one wants that because you want to finish everything and start a new task the next day. Next would be find your balance. Break down the percentage of time you want to spend. I personally like this part, the find your balance, because I like to time myself. Like when I have a task, I check the time, and then I'm thinking, okay, within 1 hour I should finish this, or in 30 minutes, because that's my way of being productive. I like to follow things. It means that I will accomplish so many things if I have my balance. Next, adjust your notifications. If you've been working with default notification settings, I would suggest maybe if you're someone who loves to check on your phone like all the time, maybe I would suggest to get notifications related to work, especially if it's your working hours, right? And avoid getting unnecessary notification unless it's the end of your shift, to make sure that you will not get distracted, to make sure that you will not end up slacking at work because your attention was diverted to another thing. Next, organize and archive. You should not only organize your physical workspace but also your digital one. That means cleaning up your desktop, moving icons for apps or documents you regularly need to convenient spots, archiving projects, and organizing your email. I also like this part because you don't want your files to be unorganized. I would suggest for you to create a folder wherein for reports, a folder for a template for an email, a template, I mean, a file for like EODs or something like that, because it's easy for you to uh, check them. It makes your job way too fast if everything is organized. You don't want your things to be all over the place, and it will take you so much time to search for, and then ending up being frustrated about it. So especially in our team, we have OCs, boss. So somehow we adapt that, and I believe that's a good example. Okay, next would be the do's and don'ts when working from home. Do prep for your workstation. Yes, this is very important. When you go to work or your workstation, everything should be organized. Everything should be there. Your pen, your notebook, your sticky notes, whatever that you need should be there, because that's you'll never know what the things that you need when you start working. So everything should be there. Next, create a morning routine. A routine is what triggers your mind to get you started. Maintain a morning routine. It can be making yourself a cup of coffee. So if you're a coffee lover like me, I like coffee. I can like take 5 cups in a day. So it helps me energize. I can really attest to that. I'm more productive when drinking coffee, but at the same time, road to palpitation. But it helps. And then exercises. If you're not someone who loves to exercise, maybe stretching will do. I do that. I do stretch. When if you feel like you're sleepy or you feel so tired, then you do that. And then, of course, getting dressed. Even if you're at home, it doesn't mean that you will not dress up. Of course, you have to dress up if you're even if you're at home. Okay, to feel the employee vibe. That even if you're at home, it feels like you're still in the office. Okay. Next, communicate with your team regularly. Just because you're working remotely does not mean you will work on your own. So you have to communicate your team regularly and stay updated. We can use in the office, we use Microsoft Teams, and if you're allowed or if it's possible, you can also use Messenger if you create group chats to um, reach out to your leaders, to your coworkers. Okay, because if you update them all the time, then you know what's happening around you or within the team, and it's very important. That's one of the challenges if you're not physically together, because we have this thinking that if you don't see them, you feel like they are doing their job less, they are slacking. But of course, it's not just that. Maybe it's also about trust, and of course, updating your team to make sure that you're updated. Okay, and then you can reach out for help whenever you need, or you can also share your best practices to your workmates. Next, do take breaks. Take breaks in between to rejuvenate yourself. Taking a break of relaxing helps your brain to retain information better and be more productive. It is the fuel that needs to be refilled from time to time to keep you going. Of course, yes, breaks is very important. It helps your brain to breathe. Okay, if it's too much, if it's information overload, you'll know if you need to take a break because your body will tell you. And then take care of your body and mind. Keep your body and mind with the proper nourishment it demands. Get enough sleep and eat healthy food. Make a point to wake up early and resist the temptation to oversleep in the morning. And of course, you have to take care of your body because if you're sick, you will not be able to work efficiently. You're like physically there, but mentally you're not there if you're not feeling well. So you have to make sure that you are in a good condition so you can do your job appropriately. Stay organized and plan your tasks. Do you know that time is a killer? A disorganized structure and not having a plan or to-do list. Organize your tasks based on the priority list. It's important for you to have a list, especially within the day. You'll know naman. You will check your emails. You need, of course, as an employee, you know what's your task. So, yeah, every day, maybe you have the same routine, but of course, there are times that there will be another task that will be given to you. So, that should be accomplished. Next, what leaders should do next. Of course, let's ask our team members. Describe the work you do that can be done independently. Describe the work you do that it is better when we work together. What happens when we are in person together that doesn't when we work from home. Describe the times when we are I mean when our team works best with other teams. Describe the times when you feel connected to our team's culture. How do we build some predictability in our work schedules so in person is maximized? Describe the times when we have created exceptional value for our customers. So this question is of course is for our leaders. And not only that, as an employee, also we should ask ourselves these questions because in a team it's not just about leaders, it's a collaboration of ideas, suggestions, or knowledge to make it work. Okay? And then, of course, work is not a place, it's what you accomplish together. I do believe in that. It makes your job so much easier if you collaborate with your workmates because there are things that you don't know that they know. And there are things that you know that they don't know that you can share. So, I believe in working together. All right. B, do you want to add anything here?
I think you've said the most the important things that they need to remember as well in a hybrid setup. So I'd like to end this session with a quote. Work is not a place; it's what you accomplish together. So I'm very much excited as well to see some of you guys who's interested to apply in VXI as well. You can definitely check our available positions in www.jobs180.com/VXI. So you can walk in the following sites as well for our recruitment offices in VXI Makati, Panorama Quezon City, Bridgetown, and in Davao as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening in. And Lay, thank you as well.
Thank you. Thank you, B.
Thank you for that, Bea, Ms. Lay. Thank you. So, to our audience, the floor is now open for questions. I would like to go first. So, first question. Personally, I'd like to ask the two of you po. How do you manage stress? Like, what are your like um routines to like manage stress, whether it's on whether it's for remote, for hybrid setup. What are your tips for the fresh grads?
I'd like to start like so for me, when I was working at home, my one of my stress reliever is really to move or step away from my station. Especially if it's work related. Because if you're going to dwell on what's happening in that specific moment, it's really going to eat you up, especially with the stress level. So I have to step out and like get some fresh air, probably grab some or make myself some coffee, and then go back to work if I feel like I'm already calm and I feel like I already have evaluated the situation. Whereas when I'm working on site as well in the office, what I normally do is actually just the same thing. I go outside and get fresh air, basically. Because when you're stressed, you don't want to face your computer all the time. It's just basically going to mess up your work tasks and your everything that you need to finish for the rest of the day. So for our graduates here, for soon to be graduates here, that's something that is very very effective for me as well personally. Lay?
All right, thank you. So just like B, I do take breaks also. I go out and walk. And then I do have 5 to 10 seconds rule whenever I feel like I'm stressed. Like, iniisip ko to, okay, worth it ba ma-stress ako? It's like, I always think, is it something that, if it's something out of my control, then I will control how I react. That's what I do na lang. Kasi, um, mas mababalance mo siya ng ganun eh. And also, I like to drink coffee and soft drinks. Anything with caffeinated drinks really helps.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that. My next question is actually about opportunities, because I just noticed that there are people from senior high school that are watching us in the audience right now. So my question is specifically for them. If they are senior high school graduates, are they eligible to apply to VXI?
Yes, actually, we do accept senior high school graduates for VXI employees. And same for the old curriculum as well for high school graduates. So they are definitely spots and positions available and open for them.
Okay, so thank you for answering that. My last question: what would be your word of wisdom, like a final like reminder to those who will be entering the industry in this year, in the next few months? So, what do you want them to prepare for, or what's something that you want to leave them with?
Lay, would you like to start?
Okay, so for of course, be curious, guys. Be curious. Um, Even if it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's still learning. I always say to my trainees that if you get a chance, always take it. If it changed your life, you let it. That's it.
For me, take it one step at a time. You can't rush things, especially with working in a corporate world. You have to take it one step at a time. Do not rush things and do not make decisions as well because you feel like you're being rushed into doing something. So just take a step and then make sure as well that you do it with all the courage and confidence that you have in you.
Okay. So thank you for those tips, Bea, Lay. Thank you so much. So to our audience, please don't forget to visit their career site. Excuse me. So please don't forget to visit their career site. That's jobstraining.com/xi. So research about the positions that are available and try to find which position suits you best. So to our students, to the universities, to the colleges here with us, thank you so much for um, attending this orientation. So Miss Leia, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, so next up, our last topic for this morning is leadership and innovation in the new future, how to navigate your way to a better career. So this will be discussed by Ms. Sass Retizo, Senior Recruitment Specialist over at Synchrony. Sass is the current Senior Recruitment Specialist in Synchrony Global Services Philippines. She's been with the company for 2.5 years and started as a recruitment coordinator. She attained her bachelor's degree in Human Resource Development Management in Dr. Filemon C. Aguilar Memorial College of Las Pinas last 2019. So let's give the floor to Ms. Sass. Hi,
Hi,
ma'am. How are
good
you?
morning. Good morning.
Ayan, good morning. Welcome to the orientation, ma'am, and happy that you're here to talk about the topic with your ano po, kadugo from DFCAM. Ayan. So, Miss
Thank
Sass,
you.
we give you the floor. I'll see you later at the Q&A.
All right. Thank you so much, Shari. Hi, good morning, everyone, to our audience online, and thank you, Jobs 180, for inviting our company to, engage with this virtual career talk. So, for our audience, if you're asking why am I wearing a mask, apologies, because I have a wound that is currently healing. So I really don't want to show that to a big audience today. But yeah, anyways, again in SAS, and yeah, for my alma mater, DFCAM, happy to see everyone here and for inviting us again. So yeah, the topic given to us or to me specifically is leadership and innovation in the new future. So for our soon graduates, it's very important to talk about this because we're really looking forward to our future leaders, right, in the future. So yeah, let's start. Next slide, please. All right, but before we define leadership, let's talk about the myth first. So first myth is leaders must eliminate mistakes, right? So do you guys believe that everything should be perfect, right? So that's not true because mistakes are very normal. Though it's important that we avoid doing mistakes. Mistakes can definitely help us grow and improve the process, the system, right? Or us personally, in doing our task as an employee or as a leader. And the next one is leaders need to know everything. So as mentioned 3 seconds ago, mistakes are normal, and leaders, it is not a requirement to be perfect, right? So I know that leaders commit mistakes, but it's important that we learn from them. And a leader should be open for opinion, ideas, suggestion from their team members for us to be able to, achieve the goals of the company, right? So next slide. All right. So to better define leadership, I have 3 things here. So first, it is the ability to influence the followers. So as a leader, it's important that we guide our follower or an individual to be a future leader, right? So effective leadership enables the followers to succeed. So leader is not the boss all the time. So influencing them to, delegate the task properly and ensure that everything is working well with the team will definitely lead them to success. The next is provide defined goals. So leaders, as I've mentioned, is not a requirement to be perfect. But of course, leaders should know goals, right? So hindi naman pwede na leader like hindi perfect pero lagi naman nagkakamali at wala na halos alam. Right? So leaders should map out where we need to go. As a follower or us as a leader, we should plan out everything, right? And we create vision that brings together the skills that needed to do this, the plan, the strategies that we're looking into, and be vision, understanding the reality of the present and the future. Okay? And then next is display integrity. So this is one of the factors that I'm really looking into a leader, or me as a leader from my team too, or looking up to my leader. So this is something that very important to me, that a leader should display integrity, because more than the charisma and confidence of being a leader, it's important that we can trust them. You can be trusted as a leader, and we have to avoid resentment that may lead to business to failure. So whatever that aspect that may be, so integrity, having a positive characteristic is define leader, or the ability to lead is very important, right? And the next one, I'd also like to define innovation. But before that, let's look into some myths regarding innovation too. So first, it is all about technology. So do you guys agree that it's all about technology and it's about the newest thing? So I cannot see somehow the comments right now, but this isn't true, because innovation can involve flow, process, system, or realignment, in the organization. And it can be an old process, a previous goal, a previous flow that can be used if found relevant today. So it is not a requirement to be new all the time, right? So those are the myths, one of the myths we have in innovation. So now let's define a very brief definition of innovation. So it is the introduction of something new, but not like very new, right? So if we can use that for improvement, for the betterment of the business success, then it is being innovative, right? And growth is needed. Creativity would not be enough, because we have to think of a process, or that innovation that can be useful, right? And hindi naman siya required din to be very grand or bongga na new idea. It requires quality, clarity, ideation, development, and implementation. So since innovation is, at first it is an idea, so it's not enough. It won't stop there from being an idea. It should be executed and implemented, right? So there, and then next question is, why does it matter? So our topic for today, is leadership and innovation in the new future. So why? Why is it important? So from our Synchrony careers side, it says here that leadership builds cross-functional relationships and drives organizational results, as well as innovation being the key to driving success. So the command and control leadership methods from the previous years, or other methods that we had long time ago, are less appropriate right now for the rapid change. So we all know that we have a fast-paced environment right now, especially in the corporate world, and there is really, a technological change as well, and we have to empower, our employees inside, and of course attract talents that will come along. So it's important that we build these relationships, and a leader must have that, characteristic. And then innovation, again, knowledge sharing, creativity, and taking the initiative, to resolve, these challenges that we're currently facing, will lead to be competence, in the industry. So it's really important to have these two today, because we are facing the new future. Right? So next slide. Right. So how does the future look like in business as of today? So I know, since we experienced pandemic when we were in college, or our student graduates, maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we think about the future differently. But right now, it's different again, right? So next slide. All right. So we have three, here on my slide. So first is rapid change. So this is how the future looks like right now. A lot has been happening in the span of a week, month, year, right? Or after 2 years. And um, an organization, or for example, our company might have a ramping hiring last month, but it might change today or in the coming month. So yesterday won't be the same as today, right? And digitalized world. So the question is, do we still use same process as before? Because as we know, technology is very advanced and continue to advance right now. So digitization will generate more jobs, manual to digital. So it's important that we are informed in this kind of change right now in the future. I know that this is not a smooth process to digitalize everything in the organization or even in institution like DFCAM, but it might be bumpy but very advantageous, for the automation transition. So do we still depend on forms, papers? I know before, like years ago, when we submit, resume, it's like filling out the bio data, right? But right now we just have the resume link, right? We just have to fill out or create our own profile online. So do we still manually copy and paste, or do we now have, a tracking system? So that is now the future, and the future. So post pandemic, so as I've mentioned, a while ago, what we think of future before is now different. So we experienced pandemic last 2020. So how resilient are we with the unexpected events? So in our company or an organization, what is our competitive advantage, right? So in Synchrony, last 2020, we were one of those companies who, adapt right away to new way of working. So we were able to implement the work from home during the pandemic. So how do we do that? Right? So it's important to rebuild and always re-strategize because again, it won't be the same as yesterday and then right. So it's always changing. You have to think about new ways all the time, and that includes, advanced thinking in the right. So that's the feature right now that we're currently, experiencing. And then next slide, I have a quote. So this is from Tyrell Kirkham. He's a chief marketing officer in Big 12 conference. So this is a quote he mentioned on LinkedIn. So being adaptable is also important because it showcases your ability to be resourceful, displays your leadership skills, determination, analytical skills, and more. So this is something that I don't want to elaborate more because it's very understandable. Right? Being adaptable is important because you guys, as our soon to be graduates, we are looking uh, a talent that is resourceful and very skilled, and that includes being adaptable because again, we have to be flexible all the time. Right. So next slide. Now the question is how. How can I be a good leader, or how can I innovate? Right. So adapt, right? So we have to meet the goals, right? And if we are in the new future, in a rapid change, digitalized world, and post pandemic, right, we are to keep up. We have to keep up with the changes. And we don't panic when things don't go according to plan, right? So do you guys panic when, for example, your professor right now may bigla ang pinagawa sa inyo na task. So you have to be flexible in those kind of things because in a corporate world that you could face that or experience that, right? Like urgent task or that you need to accomplish before your day ends. So that is very important to be adaptable and flexible. And we don't do things just because it is how we have been doing it. So being adaptable is helping us develop our skills, again, when it comes to flexibility, right? And then change mindset. The way we think can really shape our beliefs, our actions, and relationships, right? So think about the values that you hold right now. So something that I have for our audience. What are your values that you currently hold and you currently possess, right? And if it's something that you believe that it is not right or accurate right now, then we have to have a change mindset, right? When was the last time you failed and how did you react to that? And were you able to come up with a resolution that you won't be doing that again? Uh, and then we need to allow room for change, right? So, for example, you have this principle right now, and you experience, a situation where you think, hey, I think this isn't right. So you have to change your mindset, and we have to be open for that one, for us to grow, and we have to celebrate that growth. Okay. And then last is collaborate. So I know this collaborate has been mentioned from our previous speakers a while ago. So good leader, right? And someone who can innovate knows how to collaborate, right? So it builds improved communication, efficiency, and success. So once you are in a team, we cannot be a solo worker, a solo player. I know some of us strengths yun, right? Pero working really in a team, like three or four, members, it's important that we collaborate and coordinate. Okay? Kasi we cannot achieve a certain goal without partnering with your team members. Kasi we have to work together, right? And that is something that we are looking for. That's the talent that we're looking for. Someone who are good, team player, right? So I hope that if you see yourself as a player right now, then you can change your mindset, right? So these are some of the things that can prepare you to have a better career or best career in the future. So now I would like to, of course, introduce our company. So we are Synchrony Global Services Philippines Inc. So we are a subsidiary company that manages call center operations and selected back office support located in our two hubs. So we have two hubs only in the Philippines. We have in Alabang, Muntinlupa and Cebu Business Park. So we are hiring call center agents and of course some functional roles, executive roles as well. And we help businesses and customers achieve their unique ambition. Over 90 years of experience, in the industry. We lead in financing major consumer purchases and healthcare and largest provider of private label credit cards in the United States, right? So we are 16,000 employees globally, and we are a company who is open, to give opportunities and provide great benefits that the employees deserve. So next one and the second last slide. So yeah, we want to introduce. I'd like to take this opportunity to inform everyone and proud to say that we are number one best place to work in the Philippines. And yeah, employees say this is a great place to work, and that is evident as we are an award-winning company for 4 consecutive years. So 2020, we are awarded as top one best place to work in the Philippines. So as I've mentioned, we were one of those companies who adapt with the new way of working from home, right? And then top two in 2021 and 2022, but we were still the top one in the call center. And I'm proud to say that this year we're back at top one, and 97% of our employees are satisfied working in Synchrony, right? So just wanted, of course, to promote that and really looking forward to have, you guys soon to be graduates to, be interested in applying to us in the future. Because again, we're very open with a lot of opportunities and then for my last slide, of course, since we are partnered right now with Jobs 180, please do not forget to visit our dashboard and look for the opportunity or our open hiring in jobs180.com/synchrony. Right? So yeah, there. Thank you so much, and really looking forward to your future journey and becoming the future leaders in the corporate world, in the business. So that's the end of my talk right now. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for that, Miss Sass. So to our audience, we can ask our questions. So I'll go first. First question, Miss Sass. What can you advise to people who are going through rejections?
Mm-hmm. Right. So as someone who were rejected lot of times before when I applied, when I graduate, so rejection won't define you like a whole as a person. So you have to be patient, right? Because someone out there, whatever that may be, an organization that you're applying to, will definitely see your skills, right? That very relevant to their needs. So for those rejections, I believe we have to be patient enough because again, from our previous speakers, we don't need to rush things. Rejection is normal too, just like mistake. So
Okay, thank you for that, Miss Sass. Now, talking about the new future, are you worried about artificial intelligence, ma'am? AI is something that is buzzing around right now.
mm-hmm.
So, how will this affect the industry that you're in, and will this replace jobs in the future?
Mm-hmm. So artificial intelligence can be an advantage and disadvantage, right? Because of course, we are really looking for those talents na talagang alam mo na you can train, right? But this can be a help too, you know, when it comes to digitalization. So I'm not afraid since that's what your first question is. But really hoping that it really depends on us on how we will use it for its purpose. So yeah, that could be an advantage and disadvantage too. But really looking forward for us to use that for a better purpose.
Okay. Ma'am, we have a question here from the audience. Kyla de Assis. Hi, I have heard about Synchrony that you need to wait about 2 months after you're hired. I'm not sure about the question, ma'am. It's a little bit
After you're
ambiguous.
hired,
They're asking
yeah,
about
I think that is
the
you
position.
after you applied. Yeah. So yeah, that is somehow yeah. Thank you for asking that, Kyla. So there's a challenge that we're currently facing right now because before we really have a rampant hiring, but today this quarter because there isn't a lot of attrition that is going on, which is a very good thing about the company. We have a limited classes or open hiring for now externally. So we are currently pulling candidates for our future classes to be confirmed. So yeah, I know that we have a lot of applicants, and that might be someone who referred you. So yeah, we're really looking forward for the patience of our current applicants, but definitely we are open for these roles. And yeah, we will be reaching out to those applicants once we have these classes because definitely their applications are always active and we have them in our record too. So yeah, think that's the reason why there
Okay.
was that question. Mhm.
Thank you for that, Miss Sass. So to everyone, please don't forget to visit Synchrony's career site. So that's on your screen right now. That's jobs20.com/synchrony. So do a research. What are the positions that that would be best suited for you, and then wait when you're ready, then you send out your applications. So Miss Sass will be there to process applications in the next few months. So thank you again, Ms. Sass, for accommodating our request, and we look forward to having you in future sessions with other universities. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shari.
So to everyone, before we end, we have an evaluation here. So We'll put it up in the screen, and then we'll also put it in the comment section. So there are two separate QR codes. So one is for SJCDC and another one for DFCAM. So kindly answer the respective forms for your colleges. And so we are putting it in the comment section right now. So while you're doing that, we'd also like to invite you to Accenture's Campus Recruitment Open House. So Accenture is focused on creating a great place for fresh college graduates to thrive. They offer a virtual training program to build leadership and technical skills, and they offer mentor support and opportunities for you to build your professional network. So Accenture is one of our partners here at jobs20.com, and they are opening their doors for people who would want to start their careers with the company. So they'd like to welcome you to their office. That's 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. to have your application processed within the day. Their location is at the ground floor of Robinson Cybergate 1, Pioneer Street, corner EDSA, Mandaluyong City, and they'd be delighted to meet with you. To reserve a slot, please scan the QR code on your screen, and they'd be waiting for you to come on site or to start your career with the company. That's Accenture. So to everyone, thank you for being with us this morning. We'd like to do a shout out to Miss Abby, to Miss Angel, to Sir Red for helping us organize this activity. And kindly make sure that you have you have submitted your response before the day ends. So to the job seekers, to our audience, please watch out for the next set of webinars that we are hosting next week. So you can check our Facebook page for the topics that will be discussed, and you're welcome to join in any of those sessions for free. So to everyone, we are congratulating everyone who would be graduating soon, and we look forward to having you in the workforce. So thank you so much, everyone, and have a great afternoon. Have a great day. Happy Friday, everyone.
Hi, I'm Michael Cayabo, and I am from School of Nursing. I came from a profession that can be described as both an art and a science. It's not just a simple profession, it uses both our heart and mind. At its heart lies a fundamental respect for human dignity and a mind which focuses on continuous learning. And when it comes to learning, St. Jude College's Dasmarinas Cavite School of Nursing has a lot to offer. From our best and approachable clinical instructors to our best facilities that serves as our training grounds to hone our skills on a clinical field. Truly, SJCDC School of Nursing is home for globally competitive individuals. In fact, we topped number 7 on the latest PRC board exam. So what are you waiting for? Join us and be a part of our family, because your future awaits you. As Mr. Nursing 2022, I am honored to represent my department and talk about certain issues that is timely and relevant in our generation. I am a proud advocate of body positivity and mental health awareness, and my primary goal is to break stereotypes about beauty standards and end the stigma that surrounds the people who experience mental instabilities. I believe that each and every individual, despite their status in life, past experiences, how they look, whatever size, shape, or color they may be, everyone deserves to be loved, acknowledged, and respected, and everyone should be appreciated.